record this because I know some people couldn't come. So Happy New Year. I'm glad you guys were able to come. I think there might be some other people that might chime in a little late. They said they were doing some stuff at home, which is totally fine. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to put together a presentation, webinar, whatever you want to call it, basically with a lot of the tools that I had learned over the last couple of years. It by no means makes me an expert in all this. One of the things that I'm doing, because I think it's always important in the grand scheme of things for us to like learn more. And I know the busier we get, the least we learn, right? Because it's like there's an excuse why we're not doing certain things. So the goal, I think, out of this is just like I have, like, just continue to learn, like put it on your schedule every day to learn a little bit more in order to help you. I know we do a lot of professional development. I know Denise has shown me different things that she's had to do for her industry of work. I know, Jen, you have to go to a lot of things for your industry, but I think the important thing is what can you do for yourself with the stuff that you need to do. So first and foremost, I think part of making your year a better year is knowing that you don't have all the answers. I know I don't have all the answers, but I can tell you a lot of times we know how to find the answer, or we probably know the right answer. We just haven't learned what we need to make that decision. So that's probably one of the biggest things I want you to take away from this, because this is really a plan to help you kind of grow and learn a little bit more about yourself. So I'll go on to the next one. So the first part of this is just choices, that we all have that opportunity to make the choice that we need for ourselves. I think a lot of times when we're trying to figure out what is it that we're going to do in this new year, or what are we going to do for our future, the nice thing is that ultimately you have the choice to make whatever it is that you want. So if you delay that decision now, that opportunity could be gone forever. So if anything, if this is your chance to say, okay, maybe this is a sign that something that I've been wanting to do, this is the time to do it. This whole webinar is designed on everything that is involved in your life. So one of the things that I had the opportunity of doing is I'm a certified coach. I did that while I was working at Western Governors University. I'm working now on my recertification for that, because the big part of what I like to do is help people discover what their choices are for their opportunities. And you all have that ability to do that starting today with what we're going to go through. So I know 2016 may not have turned out the way that some of us have wanted. Some of it was good, some of it was bad. But there may have been a lot of things that were out of your control that impacted why 2016 was good or bad. I know there were a lot of crappy things that happened, but at the same time, I'm sure you can look back and say, okay, there were good things that happened. I learned certain things about myself, about others, and it's really an ability for you to now take control of something in particular that you want to work towards. Hi, Shelly. I see you just joined. So what is it that you can do to make 2017 different? So what we're going to do is go through some of these steps so that it can help you in further developing what you want to do. And basically what I want to then offer is after this call, after you've gone back and you reflected on what you want to do and what you're going to make action plans to do, for us to like have a 30-minute call at least so that we can chat about it, so you can have somebody to bounce off those ideas. Because a lot of the stuff that I've had the opportunity of doing, again, it was not as a result of just my doing. I've had to talk to other people. I've had mentors. I've gone to different sessions as well to learn more. So I just want to let you guys know, whatever we talk about today, take lots of notes, take time for yourself, and then you and I can all reconnect at some point on our own, one-on-one, to go through this. So how we're going to make 2017 different is the following things. You want to start with a vision, you want to create SMART goals, and you want to develop action plans for that. So the first thing is realizing, as I mentioned in the 2016 slide, there were things out of your control that may have impacted why this wasn't a great year. So I think the biggest thing is to think about that in regards to your future. You want to think about what you have control over, because there are just things that you're never going to be able to change. It's just what it is. But if you look at the different areas in your life, and so I've included some of those on the slide, these don't have to be the specific areas that you focus on, but I want you to write down, what are the things in my life, what are the areas in my life that I want to focus on the next steps. So one year what I did is financial and career was a big thing for me. So for me, it was deciding finally, I'm going to figure out my financial situation. I had a lot of debt a couple of years back, and I was like, you know what? I just need to figure it out. I don't know crap about money. I'll be completely honest with you guys. I know how to I don't know how to save it. So what I did is I said, okay, so if this is something I'm going to do, I need to go to a professional. So I went to a free center where you can talk to people about your finances. They can look at everything for you. They could educate me on it. And it really wasn't as bad as I had put in my mind that it was. Like, I had this fear of this debt I had for a number of years. And a couple of years back, I decided, no, I'm going to talk to somebody who actually knows and can look at the numbers for me so I can figure out a plan. Like, I was thinking I was going to have to take out a retirement and pay things off, that I just screwed myself so bad. And it wasn't that bad. So, if maybe it's spiritually, you decided that there's a piece of you that you're not fulfilling, whether it's, you're feeling every day like there's something missing, or that you're not getting what you need to just kind of put your mind at ease. That might be something for you to look into, whether it's, finding some personal development to learn more about yourself, finding a new church, finding a place where people are kind of open to different opportunities and opinions. I know that has been a struggle for some people over this past year as a result of, and I'll just put it out there, because of the election. I know it caused heartache and issues with different people, but this is your time to take control of it and say, okay, what is it that I want, and who am I trying to look to help and support me in that? So I want you guys to at least write all of these down. Think about these areas. If there's something on here or not on here, write that down. And one thing you could do is write it in a pie chart. So if you were to be that balanced person to take control of yourself, what would you need to be doing? Do you feel like there's an area of your life that you need to be stronger on? So that's the first part of this. So in knowing all of those different areas and where you want to work on, that will help for you to create your vision. So a lot of times we see companies create visions as to the type of company they want to be, who they want to strive to be. You want to do the same thing for yourself. You want to just discover, what is your purpose in life? And I know that's a really deep question. So again, I want you to, if you can, take time, maybe it's 30 minutes after this call, to just think about these. If it's taking some time, when you have some quiet time during the week, I recommend doing this. What is it that, in the end of this year, or in 5 years, or in 10 years, what do you see your purpose being? And if you don't know what your purpose is, you can also answer the question of what matters most to you. So at the end of the day, what are those things that are really important to you, so you can help to create what you want to work on? So this past year, one of the things that kind of came up, and I didn't have it on my vision board, and we can have a whole nother discussion on vision boards maybe later this month. But I think if you don't get at the part of what you truly, then the vision boards are kind of just, just extra stuff to put somewhere. So for me, it was, hey, it's been a long time since I volunteered. And I know Jennifer, and I see Christy online. Jennifer, we're in a sorority, and community service was a big part of what we did in college. Whether it was once a week or 5 times a month, whatever it was, that there's an element of that giving back and doing something for someone who doesn't have anything that I felt like I was missing this year, because I was trying so much with, I work with a startup. I do Beachbody to help with my health accountability. I do a number of other things, as I'm sure you guys all see. So, to me, what I wanted to focus on was, what could I do for other people? So to me, that's
but you need to eat some more. You want to cook your soup?
Make sure to mute. I don't have you guys on auto mute, so feel free to mute yourself. Sorry, Christy. It's okay. You're good. So, you want to think about all of those things that really matter to you. What are your values? So you can create a vision for who you want to be. And just remember that your vision isn't something, and that's why I don't like New Year's resolutions. You can't really say, this is all I'm going to do and this is all I'm going to be for this next year. You ultimately want to work up to who that is. So start to think about what makes you who you are. The person that you are, the person that you love most about yourself, who is that person and how can you strengthen that? Because all it really is you helping to determine what your strengths are so that you can just make yourself that stronger person. And so if you want, you can make that vision for, okay, if next year, if I were to see myself next year, where do I want to be? Or it could be 5, 10 years, wherever that is. So that's the first thing that you want to do. The next thing you want to do then is to create goals that are focused towards being that. So now you have this like future state of who you are. If the goals that you're creating for yourself aren't going in that direction, you might want to reconsider if that's really something you should be working on. So, for instance, if you're like, oh, I need to go back to school and I want to get my degree in this, and it has nothing to do with who that vision is of you, who you are, it's not a failure for you to say, okay, I need to like really decide that I'm going to change my focus so that I can really hit that target. Because if that's who you really want to be, don't try to like do all these things around here and then it goes back to you then feeling like I'm not doing anything. I'm not working towards anything. So focus on that. And when you create your goals, try to create goals that are smart. And so I have it. What that means is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. So if you want to say, and I know a couple of you on the call have small businesses, if it's that I want to have a revenue of $20,000 this year, how do you make sure that you're able to accomplish that? Is it measurable? Are you actually tracking the revenue that you're making on a monthly basis? Is that achievable? Is it actually something that you can do? And if it is there like a time sensitivity to that? Maybe it's not in a year, but maybe because of issues that you have going on in your life, you need to shorten that or lengthen it. So at least when you have a goal that is smart, it allows you to actually see that you can achieve it. So, me saying I want to lose 50 pounds by next month, it's not achievable. I mean, it probably is if I do some extreme measures, but is that achievable for me, Kristen? Probably not. Is it achievable for others? Who knows? Whatever they decide to do. Is it relevant, again, to that mission? You want to make sure you can do that. And I think the measurable piece of it and specific is what a lot of us usually miss. I want to be healthier in 2017. Well, can you measure what healthier means? Can you tell me a little bit more about what healthy means to you? So if it's that you want to be healthier, okay, well, is it that you want to I want to cut out fast food from my life this year, and I want to, make sure that I'm, only eating so many calories a day? Or is it that I'm going to focus more on eating proteins and vegetables rather than just saying you're eating healthy? So just make sure that as you're thinking about what your goals are going to be, write those down, because if you write them down, you're really putting them down somewhere. And don't be afraid to write goals weekly, monthly, yearly. And I think that's another big thing. We set out these big goals for ourselves, but in all honesty, if we're not tracking them in smaller chunks, we're not making sure we're hitting it. It's kind of like, how many of you remember writing a paper? That paper's due in 3 weeks. And you could honestly, I heard somebody laugh, you could honestly tell yourself like, oh, I'm going to get that paper done in 3 weeks. And then like the night before the paper's due, that's when you're working on it. Versus saying, okay, if I can get 3 pages done this week, 5 pages done this week, have a rough draft done by this time, and then actually have it ready to go. See how you see like that pattern. So it breaks it up. Mostly with our busy lives, something more week to week it's going to help reduce your stress. If you're putting in this pressure to like make something massive happen, you know, I'm going to pay off all my debt in 1 year. Well, is that financially what you can do with your budget? It may not be, and that's totally fine. So just make sure that you're finding different ways that you can, you know, break down what you're doing. I just ordered my new book because I bought a planner this past year. But I mean, if it's getting like some sort of planner that breaks it out into like weeks, so that you can see a calendar, but then, you know, there's a month in here at a time. I don't know if I can flip to that really well, but, you know, there it is at a month basis, so you can see it visually. And then at the same time, you can do it, you know, week to week. So whatever works better for you. So like here's like the whole month, right? And then you can write it out. If it's putting up a calendar, you know, you want to find the ways that if you're going to write it down that it's in your face. So, you know, if you're technology savvy, maybe there's an app out there that you really want to use. So you can see those goals being posted. I had gotten so technology focused that writing it down actually became kind of hard again. But now I could actually go in there and I could see what I'm doing and check things off. So whatever type of person you are to know that you're accomplishing them, just remember, it's okay to have smaller goals so that you can make sure that you're getting there step by step. The last thing I do want to mention is as you're writing in your goals, make sure that they're positive and they're forward thinking. So you don't want your goal to say like, I will not be so hateful to people in the new year. I don't know. Maybe you're working on something that, you know, on yourself in that way. So maybe it's, you know, that you have a goal to be more positive or to say something very nice to somebody once a day, and to make sure that you're, you know, reminding yourself of what you're thankful for once a day. You know, at least that's now a positive way of looking at it as opposed to, you know, my goal is to not be so lazy. You know, again, it's just, if you're saying that's your goal is to not be lazy, it's negative. It's not something forward, you know, so if it's, I'm going to work on ways daily to be more energetic. I'm going to work on my health so I have more energy, whatever it might be. Just make sure you're doing that so you're not setting yourself up for failure with negativity. So then the next part is action plans. So once you've created what your goals are, as I mentioned, you're going to start you want to create action plans for them. So how are you actually going to accomplish it? So you can call this a checklist. You can call it your to-do list, whatever you'd like. But make sure that you're checking in with yourself. So, so for Beachbody, and I know Megan's on the call, one of the things that we've done before is we have trackers to make sure we're reaching out to people on a daily basis. So you could print something up that helps you to mark, did I do the following things? If it's, you know, that you're focusing on eating, a tracker so that you're tracking how you're eating your food. If it's maybe you're, for the year, you want to focus on more time with your family. It might sound silly, but make sure you're planning out that time with your family. If it's a priority for you, plan it into your schedule so that it doesn't feel like you're forcing that time in there. And make sure that you're seeing those action plans daily so that it's a reminder to yourself that, okay, I'm working towards this goal to be this vision of this person I'm going to be. And so let me make sure that I'm marking it daily on there. All right, so the final thing that you really want to focus on, as I mentioned earlier, I know we had some people drop in a little later. What I would like to do is offer everyone the ability to check in with me. Like after you've now written out your goals and you start working on them this week, I am opening up my calendar to give you guys at least 30 minutes so that we can talk about it, because accountability and commitment to your vision and to your goals is really that final big step that a lot of us miss. You know, and you can, if you're on camera, you can raise your hand. If not, it's okay. But how many of you have made a resolution or a goal, and then at the end of the year, you're like, I haven't done anything with it? Sounded like a good idea. Didn't quite have. Thank you. I've done it too. Don't worry. So, you know, everyone thinks about their goals and their vision differently. So I know I said I'm not going to focus on vision boards, but if you want to be creative with this and you want to make a vision board, that's totally fine. Do whatever you want to do that's going to help make you accountable to it. I actually made a vision board last year and I had it as my screensaver so that it was like a daily reminder in my face as to like, this is what I said I wanted to do. I know even for Beachbody, I've done that as to like, okay, this is my goal for the month. I've made it like the background of my phone. So when I turn my phone on, it's like, okay, this month, this is what I'm striving to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is my focus. And at least then it's like visually right there in front of my face all the time. So you want to make sure that you have support in doing this. And I know a lot of times there are times in our life where we don't have the support that we need. I mean, I know it's just a fact of the matter. And it may not be on like everything that you're trying to do, but it might be on something in particular that you're trying to do. So what I really recommend is once you commit to these goals is to get yourself embedded in the networks you need to have that positive support. So whether you go for professional help, and I mean, that could be counseling, that could be finding a mentor within your area of work if that's something you want to work on. Like I said, I went to a financial counselor because I wanted to get my debt in order. Make sure that you're adding that to how you're going to complete, you know, your goals that you're setting yourself up to. Maybe it's a support group. Maybe you're joining a fun meetup group for other women in business, or maybe you're going to a local group for a workout session, whatever it might be. And also talk to your family and friends about these goals and your vision. Get them included as to what you're really trying to accomplish so that they can also be a supportive group for you. They don't have to do the same thing you're doing, but at least let them know this is what my goal is, and so this is where I need your help. And also just surround yourself with people that are going to help you commit to your goal. If you find yourself, and I think the older I get, the more I see this, if you find yourself with a group of people that aren't supporting you to be the person you really want to be, you may want to question if those are still the people you want in your life. It's just the fact of the matter. You realize that everything you're trying to do, there's like this handful of people that are like, but no, come back down here. This could be a time for you to reevaluate that. And I'll be honest, like the last couple of years, I've probably done that more than I ever have. And it's not that I don't care about those people and that I don't wish them well, but at the same time, you know, if I can't do what I feel like I need to do in my life and they're not going to be supportive, then, you know, I have to figure out if that's really the type of person that I want around. So just remember, don't do it alone. As I said, I'm happy to talk to all of you. Additionally, because I am a Beachbody coach and my side hustle. Uh-oh, I have somebody's music if you want to just make sure you're all muted. That if health is one of those things you want to focus on, I encourage you. I have a free Facebook group. I know some of you are part of that group with me. You know, some people buy stuff, some people don't. So don't even make money an issue in regards to that. But just to have that ability to have that motivation you might need. If you need trackable methods of how you're going to eat and work out, you are more than welcome to join us, ask any questions, or if you know people who are doing that. But I think the biggest thing out of all of this, like I said, is I just wanted to help give you all, you know, just different ways that you could create your goals and have better tools to do that so that you don't feel next year like maybe you didn't do something that you wanted to accomplish. So that's why I decided might as well do this on January 1st. I know I've been busy, so I'll be completely honest. This presentation happened like in the past 30 days. But I know one thing I've learned is if I'm not learning and sharing that with other people, then, you know, it's not being paid for. So a lot of this I've learned from my coaching certification programs that I've completed, from a lot of personal development and professional development I've done. And I just wanted to be able to give that to all of you because you guys all have amazing things happening. And again, I know it's not just easy for us every day. It's a struggle for all of us. So my email address is at the bottom of the slide, and I think it just got covered up again. But it's just coachkga@gmail. And again, share your visions with me, share your goals with me. I'm happy to chat with you about it. I'll give you a little tough love if I'm like, that's not a strong enough goal. Come on, really, what is it that you want to do? I'm happy to be that, buffer for you before you maybe present it to other people or you talk to your family about it, because I know it's not easy just to say, like, this is what I'm doing and have that clear path for it. So don't be afraid to contact me and we can talk more about it. So are there any questions?
Kristen, is the email Coach A KGA or is it just KGA?
It's Coach KGA.
Okay, I think it's wrong on the thing.
Hold on, the little thing keeps popping up in front of it for me.
I think there's an A. I just wanted to make sure it was.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I added an extra A there. Thank you for Coach KGA. Anybody have any questions or anything that they want to share?
Thanks for doing this.
You're welcome. All right. Well, you guys have a great New Year's. Oh, does somebody have something?
I was just going to say thanks again so much, Christian. I can't wait I actually have been thinking of doing a vision board or some way to make myself focus, and this is going to help. Awesome.
Yeah, and however you want to do it. I mean, I recommend, I actually made this presentation in Canva. It's canva.com, and you can do like all sorts of different things, like make social media images. And so last year I made my vision board in that. So yeah, I mean, share whatever you like. Anyone else?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a happy new year, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.